Coming to the second period, that is medieval period, let us examine if the philosophy of natural law, the conceptualization of natural law, continue to be the same or if it has undergone any change. Let me tell you that it did undergo change. In what way? The change is that the concept of natural law has acquired religious complexion. Reason is that society changes from society what it was during the ancient times to the society what it was by the time in this medieval period. As in society, in the society of medieval period, religion has acquired lot of social importance. It has become a very strong social institution. People cared a lot for religious faith, beliefs, and convictions. Everything was religion centered. Approach has become very dominant. So that had its impact upon the conceptualization of natural law also. So in what way? Let us see. Now here in this period we speak of, we make a reference to uh, two uh, fathers, church fathers, Saint Augustus and Saint Thomas Aquinas. And what kind of a conceptualization of natural law has been, uh, you find it in medieval period. It is said that the stand is same thing. Law, obviously, it should be in conformity with natural law. That stand continued. But then what is natural law? Is that natural law is divine law. So divine law is, or natural law is the one which contains divine reason, or it is natural law. Only divine law can be considered to be natural law. Okay. Then where do you find the divine law? So the belief was that, or the social uh, conception of that time, or the way natural law has been defined was in this way, that divine law you will find it, or divine reasoning will be found only in the religious scriptures or religious texts. So by that time already various religious texts have come across the world. Say for example, we have in India there were these Vedas, and so far as Muslim countries are concerned, we have this Quran, and then we have Bible. They all have emerged. They are religious texts in which people of the society have lot of faith as sacred texts. Why that sacramental character? Because the belief is that they reflect the sayings from the God. It was like this, Vedas are considered to be containing divine revelation. When the rishis, by virtue of their spiritual heights to which they could reach, they could be in communication with God. So God has revealed some knowledge to these rishis, and that was brought in the form of Vedas. To take the case of Quran, Prophet Muhammad was considered to be in communion with Allah, with God. So what he heard, so his preachings are considered to be reflections of whatever that was revealed to him by God himself. Later, that I mean that uh, uh, you know the formation of Quran. Like same is the case with so far as Bible is concerned. This is also considered to be having that sacred character, having that divine revelation. So the divine law is found in religious texts. So natural law should be divine law. Natural law is nothing but divine law. Divine law is whatever that is contained in the religious scriptures. This is how the conceptualization of natural law has changed from being a product of the human reason to that of being the the whatever that is contained in the religious text. So Saint Augustus maintained the same thing, that this is where you will find the natural law, and the standards obviously will have to be in conformity with the standards prescribed by the religious text. And Saint Thomas Aquinas. So far as Saint Thomas Aquinas is concerned, he broadly distinguished classified law into four categories. One is eternal law, second one is divine law, third one is natural law, fourth one is human law. Eternal law, he says, is a law which is known only to God. Nobody knows. Only God knows. And divine law is, it's also eternal law, part of eternal law, but that is a revealed law. Some part of that exclusive knowledge of law that has been imparted to somebody. I mean, the way in which it finds its way. Whatever is the law that is revealed by God, that got incorporated in the religious text. So, divine law is nothing but the law which is revealed, something which is revealed. It's part of eternal law. It's given by, it also has got its roots in the God only. It's God given law, God given reason. So, that reasoning you will find it in the religious text. Now, the third one is Saint Thomas Aquinas is concerned. Often he is appreciated for one reason, that he did not completely discard, human reasoning component of natural law. He said that he also made a reference to law of nature, wherein he refers to the human consciousness, a man's rationality. The last one is human made laws. So ultimately, highest law is eternal law. So only God knows. So then whatever that bit is revealed, the divine law, so natural law considers that to be divine law, and you will find it in the religious text. So law has to be understood by consultation with religious text. So law, if a man wants to understand law, he should be consulting the religious text, and also like he has got his own conscience also. So that is also law of nature is also considered to be part of, because it's also part of uh, you know something related with say eternal. It has got that part. So man-made laws, definitely they will have to be in consonance with whatever standards that we are speaking. They must be in consonance with these religious standards. So this is how the concept of naturalization has acquired a religious color during the medieval period. Then subsequently, the third period, that is a period of, this is also known as Reformation period. So when it comes to Reformation period, once again, the concept of natural law took a secular turn. Conceptualization of natural law took a secular turn once again. So because of certain developments in, because of overemphasis of the religious, religion related certain excesses. So, for whatever reason it is, in the Renaissance period, so that the desire was felt that it should be delinked from the religious connotation. So, once again, natural law was identified with human reason. This once again is described to be a product of the human reason. He gets from out of his consciousness, he can make out that natural law. And in this period, reference is made to what is called a state of nature. So man in a state of nature, in and as a creature, and in a state of nature, state of nature is its pre-state stage. There's nothing to do in a state of nature as you are in a nature. So it is something like what kind of uh, you know what to say, entitlements that a human being uh, perceives. So this is where rights language also has entered. So wherein there is a lot of emphasis upon placed upon what are called as natural rights. in a state of nature, a human being is he naturally feels the urge to exercise those rights, right to live. You're born to be a human being, and you want to survive. Your basic, uh, I mean, you feel that kind of an urge that you want to live and you want to enjoy your liberty. These are all inherently felt rights, naturally felt rights, entitlements. So the focus turned out to be on some sort of rights language has entered into this. Because in the earlier period, individuals were only subjected to duties. So that from that the expect I mean the desire was to de-link to come out of that duty related bondages. Rather, they came out with this rights language. Every human being has got these natural rights. So this is where, and this is also a period where theory, what is called a social contract theory, has emerged in this particular period. Because by that time society has been evolving towards civilization, towards modernization. So the political authority, the relationship between a man and the state or many other society in general, so some kind of an explanation was required perhaps. So this is where natural law philosophy that was being extended to explain even the relationship between an individual and the a state or a political authority. So that is where, in that context, the theory of social contract has emerged. So right now, I am not going to explain what is that social contract theory, but like this is the period where the emphasis came to be placed upon rights, not getting subjected to duties, from the thrust on duties to that of rights. This is the third stage. Fourth one is classic. I mean, fourth one is modern era. So in the modern era, during by and the Renaissance period, we should also make a reference to Kant. Kant, he distinguished between rights as natural rights and acquired rights. So natural rights, they have got a different standard altogether. So the influence of Kant was once again felt somewhere, I mean, in the modern period. But prior to that, to begin with, once this modern era has entered in, so sometime by the end of 18th century and the beginning of 19th century, that period, the society underwent a change. Society always keeps moving, changing its priorities, preferences, etc. So, lot of science has gained a lot of importance, and importance is given to the actual, explanation about the actuals. So, this is where natural law philosophy failed to gain that kind of a popular acceptance, because natural law philosophy revolves around these abstract notions, not something which can be empirically observed or empirically established. Unlike the scientific discoveries or scientific explanations, you don't get any such scientific explanation as such. So that was by that 18th century, 19th century, lot of importance is given to scientific thinking. So in that framework, natural law philosophy was not fitting. Therefore, natural law philosophy has lost its importance. There was decline in its importance. But then, subsequent to that, subsequent to that, uh, by 20th century, once again, natural law philosophy found a new thrust. I mean, it got revived. Its importance has, I mean, its importance was realized once again by 20th century. Particular reason uh, can be attributed to Second World War. During Second World War, Nazi atrocities, if you can recollect your lessons on Nazi atrocities, atrocities were of such a kind that they were something which are quite shocking to human conscience, where there is absolute lack of morality. Where just because there is law passed by the political authorities and just enjoying the authority irrespective of its moral content. So that was found to be something morally repugnant. So once again, the importance of these standards of these values, morality, the important, the necessity of the law being just. So once again, those arguments once again they found newfound support for that approach towards that's how the importance of this natural law philosophy is once again recognized, and particularly Kant's philosophy of natural rights, Kant's projection of natural rights, that has its impact. I don't say that only Kant, but otherwise also uh, the the I mean lot of importance was once again given to natural law philosophy, and that's where we find that United Nations right after it came into existence, it took as its one of the foremost task of making universal declaration of human rights. So human rights gain a lot of importance. Now human rights are very much connected with natural rights. So if somebody asks to ask the question why human rights are important, is it because constitution has guaranteed, is it because we should be enjoying these rights only because of the guarantees given by the positive law? We would say that no, they are inherent rights, they are basic rights, whether that these are the rights, they ought to be recognized. We say that. So they have that, that natural rights philosophy has got such an inherent appeal that obviously a lot of importance once again came to this natural rights philosophy. So we can also refer to such developments as introducing principles of natural justice as an important component of administration of justice. So that way uh, we can see the continuing influence of natural law philosophy in every many debates or relating to law, or in questioning the just or unjustness or morality or immorality of any given law, even if it is a state-made law. So that's how the concept of natural law you find in a periodical, if you examine periodically, that's how you find that the concept of natural law has evolved, and this is about the school of natural law. And in modern period also, variety of explanations are coming forward with reference to certain basic aspects, like say for example with reference to justice. You come across various lot of exposition on what should be justice, how it should be. So in variety of perspectives, these natural law concepts are being examined, and number of judgments also based upon natural rights. You come across many judgments based upon this natural rights philosophy. The certain groups are being given that extra legal space, you know, that required uh, space for them in a system, in a society, on the arguments, or on the uh, um, adopting, by virtue of adopting natural law philosophy directly or indirectly, you find the certain neglected groups acquiring certain, um, say what to say, getting argument for protection of their interests. So that shows that the natural law philosophy, despite that we are in a modern period, still is retaining its importance.